Next item would be 0692018. Consider the Board of Supervisors minutes from the Monday, February 5th, 2018 regularly scheduled meeting. Have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And a second, Cindy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
0702018. Consider the Board of Supervisors minutes from Monday, February 26th, special meeting. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Second, Tom Cassiola. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention. Carol, 4 to 0 no's and 1 abstention. Next item number, and that's probably because she wasn't present on that one. Number 0712018. Consider the general fund invoices from February 1st through February 28th, 2018. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carol, 5-0. Administrative reports. Public Works, please.
Yes, I have just a couple of items I'd like to discuss this evening, just bring to the board's attention.
Chris, will you hand him the mic? Will you hand him the mic? Yes? Pardon me? Okay. You know what, let me clarify. Frank, do you have a vote?
I voted no.
No? Very well. So let the record show no for the last general fund invoices from February 1st through February 28th. Thank you for clarifying. All right, continue.
Yeah, I just have, just to bring to the board's attention and this public's attention, we've been forced to close bridge number 2 over in the park here due to the scouring of the embankment, which that structure rested on. That bridge is currently closed. We have a positive closure in place. We have a number of conditions going on with those bridges over there. Bridge number 1, I'll refer to bridge number 1 and then head downstream. Bridge number 1 is at Pavilion 3. It's structurally deficient. It needs some repairs. Actually, should be taken out of service. It just doesn't meet today's structural standards for walkway bridge.
Well, thank you.
We have another bridge down here, bridge number 4, and the cross members are badly corroded on the bottom of that. So we're in a situation now where we're going to have to start looking at these bridges very seriously. I've got a meeting set up for this coming Thursday with a technical representative from Contact. They're a manufacturer of prefabricated structures, and the only thing we're doing with them, Joe's going to go over with you also. We're going to review the existing site conditions, discuss possible remedies over their products that they might have available, and also get an idea of the estimated construction costs related to those prefabricated structures. We currently have 4 structures in the park. We could probably get that down to 3 structures. But the one that we've had to close has dropped approximately 8 inches vertically, and we were forced to close it. And that's the one at the bottom of the walkway. So I will keep everyone posted as to what our findings are and lay out possible options.
Bill, the one that dropped, that's the base they were sitting on, it scoured away. I think they were just manholes at the time.
That's correct.
All right, but the other thing, Frank Sayers donated that to the township years ago. It was a 150-foot free span. So we're just using 50-foot spans. So I mean, that was a hell of a structure at the time. It's hard for me to believe that we can't refurbish that. Have a company come out and give us a price to blast them and paint them, and if there's some beams that are some corrosion, they can do some repairs. But it's just for a 50-foot span, and we're not quite even using a full 50-foot. Our abutments were even in on them some, so the span wasn't even that. So it was a 150-foot free span. They were bolted together.
Right.
So they're
Those 2
substantial.
structures that were bolted together are in fairly decent shape structurally. They need structural repairs done to them.
Right,
The worst
but I'm
of
saying,
those
they
3
painted
are over
too.
at the parking lot at this corner here. We have to take a closer look at what actually needs to be done. There's a lot of issues with bridges like that in the park, like the chain link fence. That should be taken off there. If you have an opportunity, if you're going to do something with the existing structures, I would suggest that they would be mounted up on a permanent type concrete abutment, and that you take the opportunity to raise those up a couple of feet and possibly get them out of the path of the stream and ramp onto those structures. Those three structures are in fairly decent shape, and that may be the most, right now, I'm thinking that's the most economical.
For sure, blasting, I mean, painting as opposed
Right.
to buying whole new structures.
That's exactly right.
You're talking about that fourth bridge we have up by the
Yes.
past the tennis courts.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't one of these bridges, one of the three that Saris donated to us.
But we'll start exploring those options, get some cost estimates together. And I think probably what we're going to end up doing, have to do is to lift those structures and take them into a shop and have them blasted and repaired, painted, and then brought back out and set onto a permanent structure. Currently, right now, they're all just set on the stream embankment, so they're all being scarred currently. And we've had two bad floods so far this year, which has just exacerbated the situation that we currently have with us. So, bridge number one up there, somebody turned a piece of concrete pipe on end and set that bridge on top of that. That is a great application for that pipe. That abutment right there is just as in pristine condition as the day they put it in. It's the other ones that are resting on the embankment that we're having problems with. So I will keep the board posted on what we
We will. Anything else, or engineering report, please?
There's nothing additional on my report unless that Joe's here to give a report on the tennis court.
Yes, thank you.
Bill and I met about a week and a half ago to review the scope of work for the tennis courts over at Cecil Park. And I provided a project status report last week, which defined the work that would be done by Public Works. They would do the fence removal of the existing asphalt tennis court surface, get rid of the subbase material. We would inspect the subgrade for stability, and then they would remove any loose debris from the adjacent parking lot surface to perform full-depth bituminous base repairs in preparation of paving the parking lot. Work that we would have completed by a contractor would be to install a perimeter concrete curb to control the grade. Right now, there's a good bit of fall from the front of the court of the parking lot going back towards the creek, approximately about 8 inches. We want to try to keep that around 1%. Install some under drain to collect any subsurface water. Install a new subbase with geotextile fabric and stone. Put 3 inches of binder, 1.5 inch wearing surface, and install a new fence around the perimeter of the court, and new tennis court nets and posts, and new line striping this year during 2018. One thing that we have found that it's in the best interest to let these courts oxidize to get the light oils out of the top of the asphalt before the color coat is installed. So we would put in the contract that the contractor would have to complete color coding during the spring of 2019. The estimated cost just to do the tennis courts is $105,340. The cost of the parking lot is $45,625, with a total cost of $166,061.50. I provided a breakdown of the cost of all the units to that project status report, and I'd like to know if the board would like to proceed with placing this project out for bid with the assistance of preparation by the Township Public Works crew.
Joe, that doesn't give us any cost estimates for our guys doing all that work.
No, it does not.
I mean, it's going to be well over the $160,000.
I know I ask this
Question?
every time, this is like the third or fourth time we presented this, but how? How in the world could that cost $160,000?
Oh, Cindy, I'm taking unit prices from competitively bid projects that have been done in other municipalities to develop the cost estimate. So that is the cost that other communities have paid to have this work done. So it's not that it's anything that's being pulled out of the air.
I'm not accusing you
No, I know.
of pulling it out of the air, but, this is, I want to say it's the third or fourth time this has come before us, and every time we say, that's too much. So can we consider, is there something else, and I think I've asked this every time too, is there something else that can be done to bring that cost down? Because every time it comes before us, the cost is higher.
Well, I think, we've included everything in here to try to give you the best product possible so that you're not coming back and redoing work at a later date. I mean, we could,
But at some point with asphalt, we're gonna have to do work on it.
yeah, we have to do some work on the asphalt in
Like,
the
this
future,
isn't
but,
something that's gonna last 30 years.
it's not gonna last 30 years. I mean, the asphalt will last probably anywhere on the order of 10 to 15 years. Surface it, if you don't want to take the fence down and leave the fence up, that would be a cost
Isn't that
savings.
something that Public Works is doing?
Well, I had Public Works going to take the fence down, we're going to replace it. And if you just want to paint the fence, you could do that.
I thought as well that 10 to 15 years is for a road that has traffic and triaxles and everything else on it. I would hope that that would be a lot longer of a life for a tennis court that doesn't have the heavy truck traffic.
I think it does here.
Last month, I did ask for two, if you recall, the pickleball courts, to investigate, and I guess was omitted, but Dawn did get me something back today, and we didn't share it with everyone yet, or I will, but that was a cost of, I guess the pickleball courts, roughly 44 feet by 22 feet, and a cost of anywhere from, 10 to 15,000?
Correct.
In place of the tennis court?
No, this would be just adding a pickleball court wherever, would be 10 to $15,000. So it's challenge for me as well to see that being 10 to 15,000 and to see the tennis court being 101,000. Yes?
The pickleball court would only be for one court. This is for two tennis courts, right? Since for two tennis courts, the pickleball court is only 44 by 20, which is less than the tennis court dimension.
All right.
So
So-
it's a different situation as somewhere else.
But still is 10 or 12,000, 15,000 compared to 50,000.
Well, but here you're doing demolition and then you're building back up at the same site. Remember that.
Yeah.
But aren't you
This
saying-
isn't a blank. This
But
is-
aren't you saying the demolition would be done by Public Works?
Yes.
You would remove the fences, you would remove the asphalt. So if we're doing our work in-house, there should be a significant cost savings. Because the only thing that really should be the cost is pouring the asphalt and leveling the court, correct?
It's the new asphalt on the court, it's the new sub base, so they have to build the stone back up, they put the asphalt down, and then after that, they will include the color coding
Yes,
of the court, and then the new fence. And that cost is $105,000.
that's correct.
But
So,
weren't, and I can't remember if you were with me or not, but when we met last year, there was no assurance that it wouldn't crack again the way that it's cracked right now, correct?
Well, I think in the proposal the Gateway is drafted up here. One of the things that they have in there is a grade beam completely around that court. That grade beam will provide lateral support for that asphalt. That asphalt's not going to move anywhere. It's locked in. A grade beam is like a regular concrete curb. It's 8 inches wide. It's got a vertical face to it. Normally they're 12 to 16 inches deep, and they'll support the perimeter of that court and keep it from moving in the future. The other thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention was the issue of the fences up there. Currently, the light poles are inside the fence. And I can attest to the fact that those light poles do not move. Probably about 20 years ago, I ran into one chasing the ball, and it knocked me on my butt. But the idea, if we're going to do this, is to get the fence inside the light pole and not have the light poles inside the fence.
Well, if we started at a fresh base, too, that would be a different quote, correct? If we prepared the ground, is that something the board would ever like to investigate?
I think we have to look into something else. Like, I can't personally vote to spend $106,000.
Well, I think,
Joe and I talked about this. I would keep the parking, the paving of that parking lot separate from the tennis courts. I would have a alternate bid in the contract.